Blackberry 10 is all but done. The newer Blackberry handsets have all gone with full Android, and they've shifted their line of business away from hardware and focused more on software and privacy solutions. Yet, despite all of this, Blackberry 10 phones, the Classic and the Passport, to this day, still have a very loyal following. Even some of the core features that made the Blackberry OS so popular back in the day, like Blackberry Messenger, have been discontinued by RIMs, and support for the handsets do continue in full force on Android, but the Blackberry OS is really a shell of what it used to be. And yet, despite this, the Passport, with its 1:1 aspect ratio and full-size QWERTY keyboard, still has a loyal cult following, with many users still using this handset to this day. The Passport was really an anomaly back when it was released, and no one really replicated the design since then. Though the upcoming Unihertz Titan is pretty much an Android clone of the Blackberry Passport, on the present market, there's really nothing like it. BlackBerry's latest handsets, the Key 1 and the Key 2, have a much more traditional rectangular aspect ratio. The Blackberry Passport is a full-on square 1:1 aspect ratio screen. It has a 3-row 29-key QWERTY keyboard, and while there's some handsets on the market today with QWERTY physical keyboards, they're few and far between. I picked up a Blackberry Passport after using Android for quite some time and made it my daily driver. Can the Passport, with its dated OS and unusual form factor, compete with modern flagships? Keep watching to find out. The Blackberry OS is dated, that much is clear. And since the Blackberry Passport was released, there was no native functionality for the Google Play Store. There have been workarounds during the Blackberry Passport's lifetime, but those are pretty much obsolete these days, and what's available to you are the apps available on the Blackberry App Store. Surprisingly, a lot of the apps that I've used on my Android devices have their Blackberry OS counterpart. Things like Mozilla and Outlook both function fine on the Blackberry OS. The major player, though, that isn't here is Google Play services, so YouTube and Gmail have to be accessed through your browser in order to access any one of Google's solutions. So, much like the rest of the Blackberry Passport experience, a lot of the Android apps that you're used to on today's flagships will likely not be available to you on the Blackberry Passport. Though, core functions like web browsing, email, and document generation are all there. What made the Blackberry Passport so unusual back in the day when it was released, and what still makes it such a standout today, is its screen. The Blackberry Passport sports a 4.5-inch 1440 by 1440 IPS LCD screen. There's nothing on the market like it today. The Blackberry Passport's original slogan was "Work Wide," as the designers of the Blackberry Passport intended this screen layout for people looking to do work on their phones. Now, years later, this is mostly true, as the extra screen real estate and the 1:1 aspect ratio really sets this handset apart from the traditional 16:9 ratio screens that most phones sport today. Things like reading documents, processing spreadsheets, and typing emails and word processing just works so much better on the wider aspect ratio. The fact that the keyboard extends across the length of the screen on this unusual aspect ratio adds to the overall experience and form factor as well. It's just kind of that perfect size and shape to quickly pull out of your pocket and do some work when you have a second. Hopefully fans of this aspect ratio will find the same experience with the upcoming Unihertz Titan, which also sports a roughly 1:1 aspect ratio screen. Sure, modern screens on the flagship phones these days have things like much higher pixel density, better dynamic range, and perform much better in a variety of indoor and outdoor lighting conditions. But the Passport has something they don't: a 1:1 square aspect ratio. Looking at documents and reading emails on this thing is truly a unique experience, and while viewing movies will look much better on the latest iPhone, it'll be hard to say if reading a spreadsheet was easier on the iPhone compared to the Blackberry Passport. So if your workflow involves doing a lot of emails or reading a lot of documents as opposed to watching movies, you really might consider picking one of these things up. The keyboard. Compared to its shortcomings with its OS and its lack of Android apps, one statement that I can safely make about my long-term review of the Blackberry Passport is its full-size QWERTY keyboard. What's not to like about this thing? With its built-in sensor that allows things like finger pinch to zoom and scrolling on the keyboard, the physical QWERTY keyboard remains BlackBerry's flagship feature, and it's really unmatched on this phone. The rubbery texture of the keys have the perfect amount of grip and firmness, and the key travel is great as keys are adequately spaced apart for my mid-sized hands, and typing relatively quickly and accurately with each key was a breeze. Other clever features like quickly double pressing for a period or other symbols and programmable shortcut keys from the home screen adds to the overall experience. I was much more disposed to send out quick emails and text messages or typing in the address in my browser window, knowing that I have a full-size physical keyboard in my pocket. The tactile feedback from the BlackBerry keyboard really encourages the user to get some work done. So, if the screen and the unusual form factor got your interest in this handset, then the keyboard should win you over. If you ever enjoyed typing on a BlackBerry keyboard in the past, this thing is no different, as BlackBerry has many integrated features and shortcuts built in the keys that allow for quick and efficient typing. So if you find yourself typing up a lot of documents or emails on your phone, then the keyboard on the Blackberry Passport might just be the one for you. So, is the Blackberry Passport a buy in the present-day cell phone landscape? I would have to say yes. While many of the shortcomings with the OS and the complete lack of Google Play services makes this a challenging smartphone for people used to these apps, if you're buying the Passport as a work phone or to help you with emails or reading documents, then the screen and physical keyboard combo is something you can't find anywhere else on the market today. So after 6 weeks with the Blackberry Passport, I can say that it's not my daily driver, but I do always have it close by in case I want to get some work done. I'll have my iPhone or my Android device with me, but I'll pull the Passport out if I have to type out a longer email or if I have a longer document or web page that I have to go through. This is the phone for people that want to work, and more specifically, as BlackBerry would put it, the phone for people that want to work wide. It provides some kind of middle ground between working on your smartphone and working on a laptop, and with the best QWERTY keyboard available to you, if you're looking for a different work experience, then the Blackberry Passport just might be your next phone.